Morning, we have Tara Hall with us today. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's great to be back in this area.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about something very important here in just a moment, but you just told me before we went on that you lived in Hinesville for a while.
Yes, my husband and I were pastors of Hinesville Methodist.
That's great.
Park Methodist, Cosby Methodist, and Center Methodist. We had 4 churches in 3 counties. And so we used to come to Glasgow to do our shopping and hanging out in restaurants.
Great town.
It is a great town.
Well, we wanted to bring you on this morning to talk about this 400-mile sail. And tell us a bit about your part of the sail, what you do, and how long you've been doing it.
So I am in my 2nd year as director of the 400-mile sail. It is a great project. I came up with the tagline, Discover Highway 68 Treasures.
There you go.
So it's not just about the barn sales and the yard sales and the sidewalk sales, but it's also about discovering our Highway 68 towns. Towns like Glasgow and Edmonton and all the points in between. We have 400 miles of towns and of sales and over 60 communities along those 400 miles.
So how long does this thing stretch?
So,
I know it's 400 miles, but give me an idea.
So it's all along Highway 68,
Yeah.
which goes from the tippy top of northern Kentucky around Mason County all the way down. It kind of turns there in Metcalfe County and shoots off into the lakes area and goes up almost to Paducah.
Oh, my goodness. And you imagine the communities and businesses between those 2 points.
Quite a lot. And I tell you, I've lived in several of these communities, and so I just get real excited about pointing people back to the towns and the businesses, the restaurants, and particularly the people that I've grown to know and love over the years.
Absolutely. So that's coming up June 1st through the 4th, right?
June 1st through the 4th, people will begin their trip, but right now they're already beginning to plan that trip, and that's one of the reasons I'm here today.
Exactly.
So
how do they plan?
So people are planning using 400mile.com. It is a really unique resource. I don't know of anything like it in the world of these highway sales. People can actually plug in the items they're looking for, maybe the area that they're going to be in. They can even choose the day because, some people will be set up on Thursday, some won't be set up on Sunday.
Right.
And then they can plot their own individualized map.
Right there on the website.
Based on their preferences, they can choose the addresses, they can download those, they can print them out, or they can put them on their own map or upload them back into their GPS.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. We also have a page for each county where we list the unique eateries and the accommodations as well. Glasgow just became a sponsor again. They haven't been a sponsor since COVID, so Glasgow's page is not up and ready yet, but it will be in the next week or so.
Awesome.
And then folks will be able to find the places we value here.
Exactly. So 400, just
400mile.com.
And you can plug in right there. You can, if you're going to be, just say you're going to be, I don't know, Morgantown on that weekend. You can find, right there.
You can put in the city that you're in, and it will tell you, start listing the sales closest to you, order closest to farthest away.
Okay.
So if you're off the route and you want to see kind of what's closest to me, you just put in your city, and it does that. But in order for it to do that, we've got to get people to register their sales, because this is kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
We have people out there that have had sales. We're in our 19th year, and we have people that have had sales for 19 years. They love doing this thing.
They do.
I say that they can see the United States from their front yard because people travel from Ohio and Michigan, Georgia, Florida. Those are some of the big areas, but I even got an email the other day from a gentleman from Ontario, Canada.
Oh, my goodness.
Who hasn't been since COVID because of the border restrictions, and he's excited to get back and shop.
Sure.
And if we want them to come to this area, to Barron County and to Metcalfe County and the surrounding areas, we got to get sales up there.
Exactly.
And that is free at 400mile.com. You just go, you plug in your address so we can make sure that your spot is exactly where it's supposed to be. Put in the items that you're going to have for sale. Don't just click them all, because our goal is to make a love match between the shopper and the seller.
Sure. That makes sense.
There's nothing worse than you putting in all the work to your sale and somebody everybody gets out and they look left and they look right and they look left again, and then they get back in their car. With this app, with these tools that we have, we can make it where when they get out, they see exactly what they're looking for. You make their sale, they quickly get back in their car and go on to the next place.
Right. So it's not just yard sales, folks. We're talking about barn sales, antique stores, boutiques, anything.
Absolutely. My heart for this is to let people discover Highway 68 treasures.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just mean the sales. That means our stores, our boutiques, particularly our antique stores. I encourage all businesses, if you will have a sidewalk sale, something is outside that is easily visible, you can sign up on 400mile.com.
Wow.
Put in the kind of items. Antique stores really can make a big impression on folks, because so many of them do come through looking for antiques. And even if they're not stopping, by being on our map, by saying, hey, look, we're here, they'll come back.
Sure,
because
they will.
that's the kind of folks that they are. They like the hunt. They like to shop.
They
They've
do.
got money ready to spend. So we need sales to sign up so you can get some of that moolah.
Yeah, and we all like that. So 400mile.com. Check it out. I was on your website earlier, and I was like, wow, this is nice.
It is
It's a
really
beautiful website.
great. And I tell you, it is a vehicle to really help a lot of organizations. One in the Western Kentucky, where it pretty is its most popular, nonprofits use the 400-mile sale. The Humane Society over in
Sure.
Marshall County, it is a huge part of their budget every year. They sell off spots in their parking lot. Churches,
Exactly.
Katie's United Methodist Church in that part of the state as well. They do this every year and have done it every year. They fund their youth trips. They fund mission work. And so any churches, nonprofit organizations, or, even a farmer with a field, because, farmers don't make quite what they used to, turn that field into a little profit for you.
There you go.
And once they sign up, we call those multi-sites. When the multi-sites sign up on 400mile.com, I get that information and I reach out immediately to our multi-sites to see what their needs are. Do they need help organizing? Have they ever done this before? Do they know how to kind of publicize locally? And then we help publicize them on our Facebook and on our website as well.
So you do have Facebook, too.
Oh, our Facebook is kicking. That's one of my love languages is Facebook. It's very, very active. And it's 400-mile sale of 68.
400-mile sale 68 on Facebook, or 400mile.com, the website there. So June 1st through the 4th on historic 6880. What a long road. You might not realize how long that road
400
is.
miles
It's
long.
400 miles. And so people can sign up, folks. We encourage you to do that. It just, like she said, the website is very user-friendly. And
that's our goal.
Yeah,
to be
really
the
is.
most user-friendly sale.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we attract people from all over. It's not just a Kentucky thing. In fact,
Exactly.
probably the largest portion of our people come from Tennessee.
Wow.
And so we want to keep bringing those folks into our state, into our local communities.
Exactly. So, anything else this morning? I can tell you're pretty fired up about this topic.
This is a passion project for me. I never felt like I had a hometown growing up. I was always moving from here to there, and my husband's a ministry. But when I got to looking at the map for Highway 68, and I realized so many of these communities I had lived in. I went to elementary school in McCracken County, and I went to high school in Todd County. I went to college in Christian County. They're in Hopkinsville.
Goodness.
I spent a lot of time in Katie's eating ice cream because I would go back and forth from there to Murray. My husband is a graduate of Western on Bowling Green. We lived here in this area and pastored in Glasgow in the Edmonton area for 3 years. Moved up to Campbellsville on Highway 68. My husband still pastors there, been there 12 years. We went to seminary in Wilmore, which is on Highway 68. Had a couple of babies as I was doing that, so it took me about 10 years to get through seminary. And then, speaking of babies, my very last baby was born on Highway 68.
What are the
outside of
chances of
Harrisburg.
that?
We didn't make it to the hospital. And so when I look at Highway 68, I just see all the great communities that loved and nurtured me and my children. And this is a passion project. I want to give back to them and bring attention to these wonderful places.
Well, folks, here's how you do it. 400mile.com. And on Facebook, too. And this morning, we're really excited to have Tara Hall with us today. And well, you keep up the great work. Good luck. And
thank you.
Keep pressing on.
And you keep up the good work. Our radio stations are the local news for each of the communities I go in. I've loved this part of my job, and congratulations on continuing that tradition here in Glasgow and Warren County.
I guess you could say our motto here is "You're home for local." That's
You're
what we
home
say.
for local. I love that, and I bet you live into that every day.
We do. Thank you for coming in this morning.
You're very welcome.
All right, folks, 7:26. We're at 43 degrees. Good morning.